don't forget this, you need these. Them in a star pattern. This is going to be a really quick segment on doors. Right here you got my 1994 YJ, and the doors attach here and there. Yeah, I was noticing that my door, has been hitting right here. And it's been making it pretty hard to close, which I do not appreciate. And additionally, it's hitting right here, as you can tell. It's pretty bad, and we're cutting into here and there. This guy here is wildly out of place in comparison to the passenger side door, which has no issues. I took it off, and I discovered large holes. What's neat about these large holes is that you can use them to position things. So you notice that the screw is much smaller than the hole. And behind that hole is a plate that looks like this. And this plate has no locators on the back, so it can move up and down as well. If you are, say, here, and you need to move the bracket up and back, you can put it here. And you have just a little bit of wiggle room in here. So that's what I'm about to do. See if moving this will help my door. Now, something to keep in mind is this guy up here also locates your door. And it has a similar system in the back of larger holes and also on the front, these two here. Theoretically, you can move this up and down a little bit too, and I do recommend it if you are adjusting your door because there's two pins, not one. This one, unfortunately, in my case, I'm not going to be able to move because I've done some work in here that's probably going to limit me from doing that. But that is a possibility. Keep that in mind. You can see here on the passenger side that our mount is 1 13/16. I don't know if you can see that right there. The other side, you can see that it's not even 1 3/4. So it kind of looks like we are at 11/16. So we need to go 3/16. Additionally, you will see that the top of this is at 14 1/8. This one looks like we are not even past 14. We're gonna move that. Hopefully we can hit our mark. Fun little fact, this plate, which is a threaded plate on the back of this door mount, actually butts up to this little doohickey, which is what you attach your door tether to prevent it from opening all the way and hitting stuff. How this works, you can see our two large holes. This guy goes in like that, and then the tapping plate goes right on top of it, right there. But I dropped it because I only have one hand. All right, I got that in there, so let's take a look. So you can actually see in here, you can almost not see a full circle because I'm at the very, very edge of that large hole. But you can tell, check that out. I've got a ton of space to the right, got a ton of space on the bottom. This is the most I can move it up, and I think I'm gonna need all of it. So we're gonna put the screws in, we'll take some measurements when we're done. It's been quite a while, and I've done a lot of work. So earlier we moved this up and back to try to match the other side. Well, doing just that did not solve the problem. It actually made it worse. Now you'll notice I have a gap here. That is actually because I have 4 washers here. Now, notice this. The body line is still low on the door in comparison with the tub. But for the first time since I've owned this vehicle, this lines up, this lines up, and all this lines up. Which tells me that I'm in the right spot or really close. But the question I have, and I'm open to suggestions, is why am I 3/4 of an inch off? Something else to take note of is this interface right here. And so I've taken my angle grinder and taken a little bit of this off. Not the best method, but just to kind of alleviate some of that. Also, we'll zoom in here. This guy I've grinded as well because he's too thick. He's actually rubbing on the inside of the latch. That I've heard of as a common issue. You can see in here, I've colored this with black Sharpie, and all the areas that are rubbing are what's worn off. So that's pretty fun. Another thing is these plastic uppers here, pretty nice, but they don't seem to fit right. And you can notice this huge gap here. I have washers under there as well, so that it won't hit my hardtop when I close the door. But if I push hard enough, the door does latch now, which is a huge improvement over before. Hope you enjoyed this short. I don't think you may have learned a lot, but at least you got a little bit of insight into what I've been dealing with this Jeep. I would have to say the biggest struggle with this thing is getting this door closed. It sucks. Once I get this tackled, I'll start doing some cooler mods, and maybe you guys actually want to subscribe and watch this channel. That would be great. Until then, I'm going to keep fighting with this door, so have a great day.
I was made for her and she me too, and I'm confident that she'll think so too, and she'll be coming back, coming back, coming back.